Hi, I'm going to do my commemorative speech on the tribute to 911 heroes. We were stationed at McCord Air Force Base in September of 2001, and I can remember whenever I first woke up in the morning and my husband told me of what was going on, and I couldn't hardly believe what had just happened, nor the things that were to follow. Um, It was an unspeakable tragedy that hit New York City, and most of them had just been arriving at work at the World Trade Center, while others were boarding the plane. They were um, on their way to their destinations. They were destinations that they would never arrive alive. The events that transpired on 9/11, they changed the world that we live in. Most Americans, like the ones up in New York and all around, the United States, they, after a while, they did return to normal, whatever normal was after the tragedy. But for the men and women and families of the military, our mission had just begun. What we knew as normal lives had now been transformed, and it would never be the same again. According to CNN, there were 3,000 people that lost their lives, to include 227 civilians and 19 hijackers. They said that this was one of the most deadliest tragedies, incidences for law enforcement and firefighters in U.S. history. The horror didn't stop there, though, for the military families. Things changed for us quite a bit as far as the security. They beefed up security. They made it more difficult, for even for us that lived on bases, the way that they would barricade the base, and the security beefed up. They had more armed guards and everything at the base, checking people on the way in, on the way out. Then they started deploying our troops, our family members, our spouses, our brothers, and they were sending them out in search of the mastermind that was behind all this chaos. That hunt continued for 10 years until May of 2010, when they finally captured and killed Osama bin Laden. It didn't do justice for all the tragedy that he caused, and it just transpired into so many more events that made it just that much worse for the military families and their troops. Well, January 1st, they started bringing our military home. They started downsizing and sending the troops home. On the home front, while our soldiers did fight in Iraq, we had to deal with the challenges, of being on the bases. The multiple, like I had said, the multiple ID checks. The friends and family were wondering if we would ever see our soldiers again. We were dealing with that also. We didn't know if they were coming back. Then we started hearing of friends and some family members that weren't coming back. They say that freedom isn't free. If you want the truth, ask a military family member that has lost someone in the war. They'll tell you the truth. I worked in a military clothing store, and we was in Offutt, Nebraska at that time. And I helped many family members put together the uniforms to bury their military member. One young lady that I won't forget, she was sent home for her R&R. She was stationed in Iraq with her husband. They had been married a month, and it was just a 2-week R&R that she was coming back for. And her mom was the main one that talked to me because she was, kind of tore up. And then she commenced to tell me the story that 1 week after she had come home, the officers came to her door and delivered the news that her husband had been killed. Well, that was only one of many stories that I heard while working there. Once they brought our soldiers home, They were never the same. The family members were never the same because of all the things that we had to deal with. To me, the news wasn't even important anymore. You didn't hear, you know, the homecoming stopped on the news. They didn't, it's just like it wasn't important anymore. But in reality, we knew that that fight was continuing. When those soldiers came home, they were dealing with so much in their minds, you know, so many, not only physical scars, but mental scars. They came home and their world was forever changed. Some of them were deployed back again and again. But I believe that they deserve so much more recognition, you know, than they ever received for what they've done. I'll tell you, I am very privileged to serve those soldiers and airmen today. I've been serving them for 23 years, working side by side and helping them, and it's like their family. I want to salute all of the heroes of 911, to include the firemen, the innocent individuals that tried to help other people and who didn't return from New York or from Iraq. I want to thank you for your sacrifices and your service and tell you what a privilege it is to serve you each day. Thank you.